Зачем это все выключил-то? Я собиралась силами, это взял, все выключил. Злой какой.
Hey guys, and after little technical difficulties, we are finally live, and I'm very happy to be teaching you English today because here in Poland it looks like a rainy day, and I think it's the best time. Saturday, day off, and if you can't go out, it's the best time to learn English. Today we are trying a new format and we are doing a new thing. We will be streaming live several videos about pronunciation. I will be teaching 2 live sessions. I will be telling you about the main pronunciation difficulties for English learners. I will show you what you need to pay attention to if you want to improve your English pronunciation. And I also will tell you about the most difficult words. We will practice together. We will be saying them together to make sure that you are saying them well. First of all, if you are watching this live, can you please let me know that everything is okay with the sound, because we had been trying to start the broadcast for a while and maybe the sound is not working. Can you let me know if you can hear me, okay? And I will be continuing, and as I said, I will start with a small session. I will try to make it small because, yes, we all know it's kind of difficult to learn a foreign language, but there are some things which you need to pay attention to first when you want to speak English fluently. There are some problematic sounds. There is some phonetic thing which you need to know when you learn any foreign language, and I will mention some typical national problems, but very briefly because, well, you know, yeah, I only speak 5 languages. I don't speak every language in the world, but in general, there is a very good book written by Michael Swan. He's a very famous grammarian, yeah, in English, and he has written this book which is called Learn English. I will give you the link to this book in the break, but you can search for it, Learn English. And it's not very professional, but it gives you, in different chapters, it gives you a list of typical national problems of English learners, okay? As an example, but I will talk about it briefly, what I can help with. So let's talk about the typical problems English learners have with pronunciation when they just start. The first thing is, of course, the problematic sounds. The sounds which are different from most languages, we call them unique sounds. And from here, yeah, I mean, we need to be cautious about them. The first problem is usually sound W. Well, I will be showing you the video from my pronunciation course, Say It Right, and in this video I will be telling you about all variants of reading this letter, because it's not just the sound, the letter is difficult. It goes in many combinations, right? And because of that, for example, the words what or who are read in a different way in English, yeah? And you need to know these rules. They are not so difficult. Stay online after this broadcast, and I will tell you everything in very much detail in this video. But let's think about the sound. Yeah, I mean the simplest sound it represents, it's what. And it's a little bit difficult because, well, it doesn't exist in many languages. We normally say v. Yeah, v is typical for many languages, right? The first problem, if you are a Polish or German native speaker, this letter will represent this sound for you. And be very careful, it's different in English, okay? So that's why if you are trying to say water, even water, if it's v, okay, it's a mistake for English because it's wa, okay? For speakers of other languages, the problem is because we are used to v, and what is wrong with v here? So v, when you pronounce that, okay, I'm hoping I'm not too big in this camera right now. So you are touching your lip, okay, your down lip with your teeth. So I say victory, victor, vein, vine, okay? But when you want to say wa, like wine, the drink, yeah, you don't touch anything with your teeth. So it's just the lip movement. You say w, and you open it very, very fast. Wa, yeah, okay. Water, wa, world, wine. And it can become a problem. First of all, it spoils your accent if you mispronounce the sound. Secondly, there are different words which have similar sounds and you can mix them up. The most clear, the most famous example, if you want, we actually have two words in English about wine. So when you are talking about a drink, you say wine, wine. But when you are talking about this green thing, well, I am not a painter, I promise, I can't write it. But this is the place where these grapes grow, which will be turned into wine later. And this is vine. So I have a vine, if you are a winemaker, yes, and from that we will say winery. Winery, it is the place where wine is produced. And I hear very often, because believe me, people like to talk about their wine, so I hear very often how people say winery. But winery, it's a different word, okay? So it's winery, vine, but wine as a drink. And you need to look at this process from both sides, because when you start practicing this sound, okay, you very often try too much and you start saying v, like w, okay? So you should control it both ways. So you say want, okay, want, but for example, void, okay, not void, but void, something like that. This is the first problematic sound in English, And I really think you need to spend some time on practicing it because it's used in many words. If you have a problem with it, it will show in your accent, and we don't want that, right? Okay, and now going on. Okay, so the second problem, and everybody knows about it, and well, I mean, yes, I know we spent hours on fixing these sounds, but we have to do it again and again and again because you will not be speaking English intelligently if you can't pronounce the. Okay? Yes, I know it's difficult. Yes, I know it takes time, but please spend some time on it. This letter combination represents two sounds in English. The voice sound, like the, okay, we say this, we say these in plural, yes, so this book and these books, okay? We say, for example, oh my God, I'm always like, I have this problem with the examples, okay. We will go back, we will come back, okay. And the voiceless sound, which we usually hear at the end of the words, like myth, okay, myth, okay. So, it is voiced, the. It is voiceless, th. But the principle is the same. And if you have spent some time on learning English, I am sure you have heard all the possible variations of this sound. You have heard sis, you have heard this. Oh my God, so many of them, yeah? How to practice? Well, I will teach you that way I learned to pronounce it. Okay, so you take your finger, you put it like close to your lips, okay? You need to feel it. Then you put your tongue to the finger, okay? You need to touch it. And you are trying to say f and v. So I'm doing that right now. This, yeah, and the trick is you move it very, very fast. This and myth, okay, or three, yeah, three, for example. Something like that. So if you Google the words with this letter combination, and if you practice them this way until you remember the position of your tongue, because I always want to see the tip of your tongue when you say the, okay, you say it. Yeah, I mean, don't overdo that, don't try to, because you will be moving very fast inside, yeah, I mean, this. It should be very, very, very much minimum, but try to do that. So this is terrible. I mean, it's making the worst impression of you as an English speaker ever, okay? If you are struggling, at least try to say the, like, it will be a mistake too, but not so much as z, because it's not s, it's not z, it's the, something between f and sz, okay? Something between. Well, I hope, yes, you will spend some time on that, because I really know that this causes us trouble. The next letter, and we are actually moving into more complicated stuff here. One of the most problematic letters, well, I write it very well. This is R, okay? And the problem here is that in many languages, at least in all other languages I know, it's a consonant. Consonant. What is consonant? consonant is the sound which meets a barrier, okay, in your mouth when you are trying to pronounce it. For example, I say raketa in Russian. Yeah, I mean, try. If you speak Russian, try to say it, okay, and feel that your tongue actually touches your throat. So raketa. I don't know, even in French, yeah, if we say something with again, we will be like in another place, but again we will be touching something with our tongue. But in English, it's not a consonant because it doesn't touch anything. And this is the main trick. I mean, we spend several hours with my students to correct that, because even if they remember the correct position of the tongue, they keep touching their throat or like inside of their mouth, yeah, because they can't get used to the idea that it's not a consonant. So in English, it doesn't touch anything. So in this case, for example, okay, when you're trying to say, okay, let's work with this verb try, okay? So the position of your tongue will be like that. So do you like cakes? Yeah, I mean, sometimes we make the cakes of such form, such shape, and yeah, it's like that, and it's a free flow. So you bend it, but you try to not to touch anything inside. And from that it's ooh. Well, yeah, I know, when it's separated, when it's just one sound, it feels terrible, but it's ooh. And don't be afraid. I mean, yes, you in your mind, and this is actually the difference between your mind, understanding of how it's supposed to be. Because children don't have a problem with this. They don't have this understanding. They just try to do what they try to do, and that's all, yeah? I mean, here, this is the understanding. And, for example, let's look at my nickname. Yes, I use this nickname in many websites because it's Storozhilova diarrhea, yeah? How it's pronounced in English. And for me, it is also a bit uncomfortable at times to say Stodau. How do they know there is this sound there? But I can't say stor, dar, because this r doesn't exist, right, in English. So that's why we are always saying Stodau, Stodau. Yes, it's funny, but this is how native speakers say that, okay? So you say try, you say, for example, we are moving there actually. For example, you say rise, For example, you say practical. Practical. Yes, and I know that if you are a Russian speaker, for example, it will sound like kartavist. That is how they speak it. But there is one very interesting point about r sound, yeah? Because you only read it in the middle or initial position in English. So, try, it's in the middle, rise, it's in the beginning, initial, practical, it's again like in the middle, yeah? But storda, it's usually not even pronounced. So in this case, when you have a preposition for, okay? For example, you are trying to say for you, here it's final position, okay? That's why we have for you, even without this accent here, so you don't say it. And I often hear it when people make the sound hearable they pronounce it at the end of the word. Yeah. Again, for example, when you are saying I hear you, I hear you. Again, I will have this very, very weak hear you. But if you are watching this video right now, you probably hear me saying, for example, and for example, again and again. So what's going on here? So this is called linking. And this is also very important. First, for your accent if you want to speak English naturally. Secondly, for your listening understanding. Because if you don't understand how the words are linked together, it's very difficult to hear what they are saying in fast speaking, right? And this is one of the biggest problems for English learners. They always are complaining about this listening problem. And probably half of this listening problem is in this lack of understanding about linking. Words are put together in fast speaking. You do that in your native language too. For example, when I started learning French, they taught me the rules of putting the words together. So they taught me to do that, and now I can hear it, okay, in French speaking. This has helped me a lot, and I still don't understand why they don't teach it in English. We are planning to make a course about it. I can't say about the correct dates, but if you go to Say It Right, Part 2, you will find very important information about linking, and this will help a lot your listening understanding. We have these two pronunciation courses, Say It Right and Say It Right 2, on the Skillshare platform, but by some reason the first one is more popular than the second. Maybe I should change the name, probably. I will think about it. But the second thing, it is really, the second course is really more important because it is not about separate words, but it's about how the words live together. And this is very helpful for your listening understanding. So in this case, please go to Skillshare. Please have a look at both of our pronunciation courses. With this link I have given you in the description to the video, you can get 2 free months and you can watch both of these courses in 2 months. They are not very long. And in general, it's a very good platform. We have more courses there. Well, it's not an advertisement. I love this platform as a learner. But let's talk about linking. So what's going on with linking? If you have the final consonant sound, in the case of it's not exactly consonant, but it works for it too. So, and your next word starts with a vowel. Vowel, it is this R, A, O, yeah, so the sound which we pronounce without any barrier inside. For example, this is my favorite one for now. And I will give you other examples, not just with T, not just with R, I'm sorry, because it is also very typical. For example, an architect. And I will say about it, so hear it, and so on. So you see, in all the words here, in all the first words here, the final letter is a consonant. And the first letter of the second word, in both cases, because here it's silent, okay, is a vowel. And it's just not because they want it. It happens uncontrollably. It's more comfortable to pronounce to these words together. Okay? So before I said for you, yeah, for you, okay? Accent is also a very important point. Now I will be saying for it. Again, it's not a stressed syllable, it's a preposition, and I have talked about it on my blog. For it. For example, for an hour. An hour, okay? And this is where the problem arises, yeah? Because you hear an hour, and my students are, what is an hour? What is an hour? It's not an hour, it's for an hour. So it becomes one word in listening, yeah? And you need to remember that, you need to do it, and you need to understand that. And here, for example, I hear this a lot. Even when a person speaks very good English, sometimes they say at all. At all. You make this break. But it's at all. And then they are like, what is all? Yeah, why I don't understand that. So, at all. An architect. An architect. And hear it. I don't know, your account, yeah? Well, I don't need to repeat that again. Oh, your accent, okay. What I'm writing and what I'm saying, two different things. So, your accent, yeah, I mean, I think you understand the nature of this mistake, but you really need to do that. For it, for example, for an hour, at all, an architect, hear it, your accent. And this is also a part of your pronunciation bank. This is what you need to do to make a good, so like to speak English with a good accent. And I've already mentioned how it will help your understanding too. Well, basically, if we talked about the general, the most basic things, I've already told you all this stuff. So be careful about what, and especially the difference between w and v, okay? Then be careful about the and th, so try to use this technique and practice, just practice, 2 minutes a day. After 5 days you will feel the difference, I promise, okay? Then the problem with r, okay? Do not touch anything inside your mouth when you are saying r, okay? And don't forget about linking. Study linking. Go to my blog, find the posts in listening category, Google them, and try to do that in your own speaking, because this is what I correct from my learners every single day. Well, I hope it helps. And if you have any questions, please write the comments, and please don't go right now. Please stay online, because I will be making a short break. I need to finish my morning coffee. It's still the morning for me. And I will be broadcasting to you right now my most popular videos about pronunciation, about the letter W, about irregular verbs pronunciation, which is usually a problem, and about difficult letter combinations, which English learners usually make mistakes in. And after this break, for you it will be not a break, yes, you will be learning. After this break, I will come back and I will tell you about the most difficult words to pronounce in English, the ones which do not follow the rules, but they are used in like every day. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you later today.